3 years ago, I was sitting at my desk, burning out, exhausted, fed up with myself. I knew I could focus, but the issue was I couldn't focus what I needed to. I always had to wait for a deadline. I would do whatever task could interest me while I procrastinated everything else, or get all my work done at night. But then something happened. I found myself a space for my focus, a space where my attention just seemed to flow, a space that protected my attention instead of stolen, a space where I finally felt I could achieve what I set out to achieve. Hey, I'm Joel, and this is Oasis. I wear a design to help me find focus anywhere, anytime. I've always had challenges with my focus, whether I was at home, in the office, or in the library. I'd always wait for moments of stress to get things done. This was fine when I was in university, but when I started working as a designer, I couldn't rely on the stress of a deadline anymore because I needed to show up every day focused. I tried for a long time to change how I work with all kinds of tools and hacks, but none of these things would work consistently. So at some point, I just started to wonder, what if I could adjust my space instead of myself? This is what resulted in Oasis. Let me show you what it does. Oasis is something I call dynamic dimming. It allows me to adjust my surroundings to the level of focus I need for different tasks. It looks something like this. I call it the vignette effect. I can adjust between 3 different states depending on the level of focus I need: light, steady, and deep. After just a few minutes, I start to feel more focused, calmer, and ready to start my work. To this day, it never gets old. 1 minute, I'm overwhelmed by what I need to do, whether I even have enough focus to start it. Then I put on Oasis, and suddenly I have that focus that used to only happen once in a while. And that's completely changed how I work, when I work, and where I work. I'm in Barcelona today and I have a couple of things to do and places to be, so I'm going to show you how I use Oasis throughout my day. My favorite thing about Oasis is that I can adjust it to my focus throughout the day. Sometimes I only need light focus for writing emails or drafting a document. Other times I need more steady focus for creative tasks like design. And then sometimes I need really deep focus, especially for CAD, so I use the darkest setting then. I can switch between these modes instantly with just one button. And honestly, sometimes I'm not even sure how much focus I will need, so I start with the lightest setting and transition into the darkest setting, just as I feel myself losing focus. Something else I love about Oasis is how it fits into the existing tools that I already use. I can use Oasis with my loop switch earplugs, so it's just me and my work. Or I can use them with headphones and it's still comfortable to wear. I love that Oasis doesn't ask me to do anything. It just sits on my desk. It was important that Oasis was really easy and low friction to use. There's no Bluetooth or setup or app. They just sit on my desk and I can use them whenever I need them. I wear glasses, and while this prototype doesn't have lenses in them, I designed Oasis to allow for both prescription lenses and blue light lenses as an attachment accessory. The attachment is removable, meaning you can replace it if you need an updated prescription. I also only need to charge Oasis once a week, and it's super easy to charge. I've been using Oasis all day now, and the main thing I've noticed is I don't feel exhausted. Usually by the end of the day, I feel quite fatigued from just trying to stay focused. I've also noticed that I've got done what I wanted to get done. This often is not the case. By the evenings, I'm usually ruminating about how little I've got done. I've been testing Oasis for over 3 years, and what I've ultimately discovered is I do have my own focus, but it just needs the right space. This mindset shift has probably been the most rewarding aspect of using Oasis. Vadim and I have been building the Focus Code for over 2 years now, and we've been doing so with an early community of testers who've been providing their feedback. Because of this, we're almost ready to launch. Pre-orders are now available, and you can go to www.thefocus.co to learn more information. Thank you for your attention.